Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new NVIDIA daily update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over NVIDIA stock. Let's go over what is happening with the stock, what I personally foresee moving forward and all of that good stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, as per usual, if you enjoy the video, please don't forget to hit that like button. It does help a lot. This is not financial advice and I am not a financial advisor. And of course, my membership section is live. So if you enjoy my analysis, I do have a membership section for just $2.99 a month. I made it very cheap. It's just mainly to filter out trolls and honestly annoying people, to be completely honest, because at least if they're annoying, they're paying me money. So it's a win-win for me at least. But yeah, it's just the link is down below. If you're interested, I do share my thoughts every single day, sometimes quite a lot of them as well, mainly for Tesla and other stocks as well. Sometimes, bonus stocks, but Tesla is definitely the main one. Or $5 a month, you get access to all of that as well, plus NVIDIA daily updates as well that I share. But NVIDIA is nowhere near as volatile and crazy as Tesla, so there's obviously less to update on NVIDIA compared to Tesla, especially on days like today, but the option's there. Either way, let's jump into it. Again, this is not financial advice in case I haven't mentioned it, but NVIDIA closing the day pretty much flat, actually, pretty much absolutely no movement whatsoever, down 0.01%. So pretty much no movement whatsoever, which sometimes that's not all that bad, right? Compared to the market, though, it is a slight underperformance, but again, nothing to really write home about. Now, what is NVIDIA doing today? What can we expect, right? Well, like I mentioned yesterday, very, very nice candle on yesterday's close. Again, stock is still extremely overbought. I will continue saying that because it quite literally is. But like I said, that doesn't mean equals bearish, right? That doesn't equal bearishness. Now, yesterday we had a nice close, technically a bullish engulfing candle up here, which is kind of funny. But nonetheless, a very powerful close, closing near the top of the day with a nice, beautiful bullish candle. Now, the thing is concerning is this, right? I mentioned how if we do get that candle close, which we did yesterday, we should probably push up higher today. I'd be surprised if we didn't and actually come up to about that 135 to 136 range. That's exactly what we did. That's exactly where the trend line is. And you can see if I zoom in very closely, we pretty much top ticked that trend line almost to perfection, which is exactly where I have it and had it the whole entire time. I haven't moved that trend line ever since I placed it the first time, like, I don't even know, like 2 weeks ago or something like that. So, pretty much perfection, right? Absolute perfection. But like I said, this is where things can start potentially getting toppy. Now, the first question I'm sure is this: is there a top signal for NVIDIA? Does it look toppy here? Does it look like it wants to finally crash or correct or whatever? Honestly, not really, right? Not really. I am seeing some signs, I'll be honest, some signs, but nothing obvious and nothing worth like really writing home about, right? But, and this is a big but, if there were to be signs to develop, if there was a bearish reversal to finally start to take form, essentially is what I'm trying to say, this would be it. This rough area up here that we're at right now, this 134, 135, 136, this like $2-ish range, is the place to potentially start forming some bearish signs, right? Because again, I don't think it has much more steam left to move up all the way to retest all-time highs just yet, like straight out of the gate from here. I wouldn't say it's impossible. Again, if we start closing above 136 and we get a daily candle closure above 136, okay, maybe then, then it's probably, we're probably going to all-time highs, or at least, retesting all-time highs. But again, with how overbought it is and how overextended the stock is at the moment, I just don't see that. I can't imagine there's that more juice left to squeeze. So again, I'm not saying it's bearish. I'm not saying it's going to reverse right here, right now. But if there was a place to potentially look for a reversal and for a reversal to start developing, this region that we're at right now is that place. But again, the daily still looks good. I mean, yeah, it's overbought. Absolutely, no question about it. But again, overbought doesn't mean bearish. The only bearish sign I see in the daily is that MACD has finally officially made a slightly lower high, showing that the bullish momentum is finally slowly starting to weaken. But again, the daily still looks pretty solid overall. Now, if we go to the 4-hour, this is where, things are starting to get a little bit more interesting, where you can see, the MACD is now actually starting to make more obvious lower highs, for instance, right? The stochastic or the RSI is potentially making even some bearish divergences, whereas the stock is technically making higher highs on the 4-hour. We're making either equal or lower highs on the RSI. Okay, a little bit slight bearish divergences there, nothing crazy, but a hint of it, we'll say. The stochastic is just barely having any steam left to move up even higher from here, and it's getting close to a bearish crossover on the 4-hour. It's not there just yet, but it's pretty close, right? Same with the TSI, you can see it's starting to finally curl, so it's slowing down, and the stochastic red band and lower highs. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, the daily still looks pretty solid, but again, if there's a place to finally start developing some form of reversal signal, if there's a place for a bearish signal to finally show up, we're pretty much around that level where I would expect it to happen. And I would be a little bit surprised if we do push above 136 and pretty much head to 140 like straight out of the gate, like starting Monday, let's say. Like I'd be a little bit surprised if we do that without at least making our way back down to 130. But ultimately, I'm still just patiently waiting for it to move back down to 123. Again, sometimes it just requires patience, right? People get impatient, they just buy because they don't want to wait anymore. And what do? They get bagged at the top, right? That's just how it works. Right now for me, I'm not interested until I see it come back down to about 123 roughly, of course, for that retest. And then I'll be very interested. Until then, I'm patient. I'm doing other things. I'm trading other things. I'm perfectly fine with that. I have no concerns whatsoever. The weekly candle, by the way, looks phenomenal. I think the weekly chart looks actually pretty freaking phenomenal, to be completely honest. I think NVIDIA looks really powerful on the weekly because the MACD is about to flip bullish, for instance. This is the highest weekly closure we've ever had. Keyword closure, not the highest price we've ever been at, but the highest weekly closure NVIDIA has ever had. Very, very bullish. You know, RSI looks fantastic. Stochastic looks fantastic. Obviously entering overbought territory, but again, overbought doesn't mean bearish. TSI crossed bullish as well. The BX trend is looking good. Like the weekly looks phenomenal. I think NVIDIA's trajectory actually looks phenomenal on the weekly, but again, weekly takes much more time than a daily or a 4 hour. So keep that in mind. Very big difference there. So again, essentially, if there's one thing to take away from this video that I'm trying to say, as hard as it might be to believe for bears that are probably just very upset with the stock's movements, it still looks bullish. Like overall on the weekly, there's no way I'll be looking at the stock and saying it looks bearish, because it does not look bearish. Like there's no way you can look at this and say it looks bearish. You'd have to be out of your mind to say this looks bearish, in my opinion, of course. But the shorter time frames, the daily, the 4 hour, etc., I do believe are starting to or will start to show some bearish signs, which again, in my opinion, will bring NVIDIA back down to retest this trend line, which essentially would be a similar case on NVIDIA on the weekly time frame. It'll just come back to retest the trend line as well, closer to 123 roughly is my ideal target. But again, that's all it is just a retest. And as long as that retest holds and we don't fall back under that top trend line, which now should be a support, of course, I see no reason for NVIDIA to be bearish, right? So again, the stock overall looks bullish, maybe very short-term, slightly bearish back down to that range, but that's about it. Like I'd be surprised if it goes anything lower than that. And this thing still looks like an absolute beast. This is a hard stock to short, so good luck if you're shorting this. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, that's just how I'm looking at it right now. Phenomenal stock, phenomenal price action, phenomenal weekly closure. Very, very bullish, very powerful stock. This is essentially what Tesla wishes it was, to be completely honest. It's unbelievable stock, truly. But again, I do want to see a bit of a retest moving down. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. I don't know when, but I will be waiting for that retest. But all in all, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Let's take a look at options flow very quickly. Let's see if there's anything worth mentioning. NVIDIA still most bullish call flow. This stock is just truly unbeatable. The bulls are just relentless, and honestly, the bulls are straight up just unhinged. Like I'm just gonna say it, man. It is what it is. The bulls are unhinged with this stock. The amount of $1 million calls I see on this thing almost daily is pretty unhinged. I'll be honest. It's very, very crazy. Kind of funny, but crazy. But yeah, all in all, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, find this analysis useful or helpful or whatever, I would appreciate a like button. That would help a lot. Also, definitely check out the membership section down below where I share these kind of thoughts pretty much daily. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you for the next one. Peace.